How is I mean, I'm fascinated by people who have that passion, that lock in for like a purpose, and then you get so much notoriety, like I said, and fame and things like that. And Wicked was just gigantic. Like household name project, and lived in families could sit and watch it. It's just one of those projects that I feel like probably shifts the energy a little bit.
It really does, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how life has changed for you since that.
It's changed exponentially. I had sort of a level of anonymity before. There was like
Did you really?
Well, there was a level of sort of like people knowing who I was to a point, but I could still sort of wander around without anybody knowing in places, and
little hat, little shade,
and I'd be fine.
Yeah,
and that has gone out the window.
Really?
That's gone. Yeah, that has gone, and there's a big adjustment. But I still feel like if I allow people to see that I'm a person when they do see me, then it allows for not a boundary, but it makes people understand, oh, she's human. Maybe we'll leave her alone.
How do you do that? What's the trick in that?
There's no airs and graces. It's sort of like, I look in people's eyes when I speak to them, and I'm right there with them, and they go, oh,
human.
Human. Okay. That's different. I didn't expect that. Okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? So when I try to, again, make sure that I can see them, so that means they can see me.
Yes.
Then it's sort of,
That's a really good key to communicating on any level.
That's right, yeah.
Whether it's like doing what you do, doing what I do.
Yeah.
Even this podcast, when we launched the podcast, we were going into some like heavy conversations about
Yeah.
And I would notice that when I would throw people into a question, it was different than if I were to let them see me in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
We're talking about grief. If I share my own experiences, then the connection with a guest or even with whoever's watching is a different thing.
That's right.
I wonder if that travels beyond what we do. Like,
I think so.
Whether you're a dentist or a doctor or...
I think so. I think
humanity, I guess, is what that is.
You can share how human you are, or what you love, or...
vulnerability too. Sure.
Humanity in a person. That's what actually creates the connection.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That level of fame, though, we've seen that eat people up. Like, it's not a small thing. And I know it's tricky, because if you complain about fame, then it's like, who cares? Shut up. But the reality of living in that is it's a real thing.
It is, but I think I'm lucky because it came to me at this time of my life.
Yeah.
Where I feel like I'm myself. And so that I don't think there's anything that can shift me off that axis.
Yeah.
And there might be wobbles every so often, but I think I feel very much like who I am meant to be. And so I can walk through it every day and still be that person, regardless of what's going on around me. It's an interesting thing I keep hearing. You seem to be like handling things, and you seem to be quite,
grounded,
elegance and grace. Like really grounded. And it's only because I feel very much like myself. And so I don't actually have to be anyone else when I meet a person.
Still must have been an amazing journey.
Very much so.
What kind of kid were you?
Chatty.
Really?
Chatty, bossy.
And you were in London?
I was in London. I was not shy at all. I would make friends very, very easily. I wanted everyone to be friends. I wanted to be friends with everybody. And that's sort of how I was. My mum, and also my mum never was like, no, don't go there. Don't talk to that person. She was like, okay, just go and have fun.
She was free.
Yeah. She just let me sort of meet people. And be okay with meeting people. She was always there, always watching from, a distance, but letting me sort of make my own friends and be okay with going to meet people and saying, oh, hey, do you want to come and play with me? I've got a doll and I want to play. You can come with me if you want. You know what I mean? That was me. My mum said one day we were
it's so cute.
Taking me to a party or something, and I ran up to her and said, this is my sister. And was not my sister at all. This is my sister, and
did she even look like you?
No, not at all. I just had decided that this was a person that I was going to be sisters with. Yeah, that's how I was all the time. Yeah,
that's great. And then at what point does the career kick in?
Career kicks in.
I mean, not 5, but
no. Career kicks in maybe 20. 22, 23. I was sort of doing backing vocals and singing for people when I was about 20. But my acting career kicks in when I'm 23, when I leave drama school. And then I start doing my own concerts maybe like 2 or 3 years later. And that's sort of when it kicks in. Around my mid-20s.
I saw you talk about, or read somewhere that you at one point didn't think it was going to happen for you.
I didn't. Well, I think I was about 18. I was just like, I don't think this is happening.
Really?
Yeah. I just sort of
Based
stopped.
on what?
I don't know. I don't know. I just had let it go for some reason. And I think I was not necessarily surrounded by people who also wanted the same thing as me. And so I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't really know, even there was no instruction booklet. You know, there was no guidance, because my mum is not a performer. My family aren't performers. And so I don't really have a blueprint. I kind of had to figure it out on my own. And so there's that moment in my teens where I was just like, I don't know how this is going to happen. And I know I want to perform and I know I want to sing, but I just don't know.
Wow.
I think it was only when I met a woman when I was about 15. I did like a young actors company and I played the role of Juliet. And that woman I met again 5 years later when I was at the age of 20. I'd left college or university because I was not stimulated by the subject at all. And I knew I was just sort of phoning it in. So I knew it wasn't right. And I wanted to search for the thing that was. And when I sort of discovered this young actors company at a local theatre of mine, Stratford Theatre Royal. And when I went to start for the first day, that same woman was teaching it.
Wow.
She was the one that was running the program. And she told me that I should go and train. I said no to her because I had no idea what she was even talking about. Nobody had ever told me that you could go to drama school and train in acting. I just didn't even know it was a choice. And she explained to me that this is a choice and you can go to drama school and you should train. And I said no because the place she described was, there was no way a Black girl from South London was going to get into the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. I was not going to get into that.
It sounds so scary.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Academy.
I was petrified. That's
Arts.
absolutely not going to happen. And I'm not applying for it because I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to do that. And she threatened me with not being able to do the Young Actors Company if I didn't apply. And all I wanted was to be a part of the Young Actors Company. I didn't see any further than that. And so I was like, okay, well, fine. I'll sign up to the Young Actors Company because I'll sign up to the school because I want to come to the Young Actors Company. And she helped me go through the audition process and I got in. And that sort of like that place is sort of some of my formative years where I had to really learn about who I was, because the ground sort of shakes underneath you when you go to drama school. It's a sort of a stripping experience where they take away some of the things that make you who you are. And I had to sort of really hang on to some of those things when I
like what
left. Just like personality.
I wonder
things like who I was as a woman and who I was growing into. Even like I was told once that I shouldn't go to the gym because they didn't want me to get too muscular. Just little things like that. And I was like, but that's just part of my makeup. I can't do anything about that. And I think I was lucky because I had a couple of teachers in that place that really took care of me and really sort of nurtured who I was. And one teacher in particular, my drama teacher or acting coach, she was the one that said to me that actually the trope that people seem to put on you is this sort of strong Black woman. They'll give you roles that are that, but actually what you are is really good at. Your vulnerability is the thing that is your unlocking key. That's where you
what good advice.
Excel.
Yeah.
And it was the best advice anyone had ever given to me as an actress.